Welcome to East Coast LQ Reviews. Today, I got a whiskey review by Crown Royal. This is a blended Canadian whiskey, and this is their newest release. This is their Crown Royal Bourbon Mash. It's a blended Canadian whiskey. It says Bourbon Mash bill. It's 40% alcohol by volume, or 80 proof, and this is part of the Blenders series, and it has a nice bottle number on it and a blended by signature right there. I was actually just looking on the website, and this isn't listed on the website yet. I'm not sure why. As you guys can see, I already had some. But I got my Glencairn here. I'm going to pour it into this Glencairn. Go over the color with you guys. This isn't NAS, so that's for the age statement. That's a no age statement. And for something with no age statement, it's actually got some nice color to it. I'm actually not sure if they use caramel coloring in this. It kind of looks like they do. But it is a nice dark caramel color. Like I said, there is no age statement though. But let's go for the nose on this one. So I'm getting like subtle notes of caramel, oak and wood, and vanilla. With this I kind of get a sort of an alcohol smell, and I get a lot of rye, like a spice. Kind of like a peppery spice on the nose. So yeah, to me, I think the spice kind of overpowers the aroma. But let's go for the taste on this one. So at 40%, it's actually pretty smooth. Actually tastes a little thin. You can kind of tell it's watered down a little bit. But up front, you get like a nice, like subtle vanilla. You get a little bit of oak and wood. You get a nice corn sweetness. The caramel's there. It's not so sweet. It's kind of like butterscotch, but it's a nice subtle caramel. To me, I think the rye kind of takes over. So for the finish, you're kind of left with a lingering rye spice, and you kind of get a little bit of the oak and wood. It actually has a description on the back of the box. It says a flavorful whiskey from the Crown Royal Blender series. This special blend showcases the warm vanilla and subtle oaky notes of our bourbon mash whiskeys. Among the most flavorful and complex of the 5 unique whiskey recipes that comprise the extraordinary Crown Royal Signature Blend. Aged in a combination of new charred American oak and ex-bourbon barrels, the result is a richly layered, perfectly balanced whiskey that has the complexity of a bourbon with the signature smoothness of Crown Royal. Enjoy on the rocks or mixed into an old-fashioned for a distinct experience. Yeah, like I said, it is really smooth, but it is kind of noticeably watered down. So I'm getting a lot more of the corn now that I keep sipping it. To me, I think it could use a little bit more flavor. It's definitely a little too thin. And for the price, this was like, I believe this is around 27 to 30 bucks. I paid like 30 for it. I think that's a little overpriced. I honestly think you can get some better bourbon for the money. I'm not even sure how they were allowed to call this a bourbon mash. I'm guessing because they called it a bourbon mash and didn't say it was strictly a bourbon. I guess they worked their way around the labeling and the name for it. But yeah, it's not bad. Just in my opinion, I don't think it's worth the money. If you want to try a Canadian style on a bourbon, I mean, it definitely has that Canadian whiskey feel to it, and you're definitely getting a lot of the good flavors you get with the bourbon. But honestly, if I want a bourbon, I'm probably just gonna drink a bourbon. This is a great experience to try this though. So I'm definitely gonna recommend it if you're somebody who wants to try Canadian whiskey that they try their own bourbon mash. I mean, this is definitely a great one. I'm not sure if there's any other Canadian whiskeys that have done this before. So for a rating on this one, because the price, $30, like I said, you can honestly just get something way better for the money. I'm gonna give this one a 7. It is definitely extremely smooth. It's awesome neat. So you don't even really have to add ice. I mean, you can add ice if you want, but to me, I think it's already smooth enough. I think if you add ice, it might water it down too much, and you really won't get a lot of flavor that you really should from this whiskey. But yeah, so for a rating, like I said, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And yeah, I recommend it if you want to try a Canadian whiskey style of or a bourbon style Canadian whiskey. Definitely try this one out, because like I said, nobody else has really ever done this. But yeah, there you have it. If there's any other liquor, beers, or whiskeys you guys like to see on my channel, definitely leave a comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more cool videos. Liquor and beer. Thanks for watching. Cheers.